Welcome to Satisfactory Update 4. So we are here in my absolute favorite region of the game, the Red Swamp. Yeah, I might have been a little bit sarcastic in that statement. I honestly hate this region. Although they seem to have fixed the issue where the monsters phased in and out of the reality, which was not that pleasant, because I remember when I built this belt here that I'm building right now, originally I would be in my I don't think I used an Explorer. I think I used one of those big trucks where I had lots of items, and I think the music volume might be a bit low. So the big truck, and I would be walking around here and minding my own business, building belts and foundations, and suddenly there's a spider in my face because, well, apparently they phased out of existence and then phased into existence. So for those of you who would take this Dungeons and Dragons reference, they were phasing spiders, which is also one of my least favorite monsters in Dungeons and Dragons. Imagine that. So what I'm doing right now, which is the primary purpose of this episode, is making a coal belt. And I thought that it might be relevant to actually record the process, unlike what I've used to do, which is basically not show the build process of things that I've done. So that's why we're here. Building the belt itself wasn't all that exciting, but when I came to this part here, I realized that, this might be interesting. How am I going to solve this? Because when I built this belt, that's a bauxite belt for the aluminium production, by the way, I never thought that I would need to have a second belt coming in on the same angle, so this is a bit of a conundrum to me, but I think I'll just do it the simplest way possible, which basically is doing this. Because the other way I could do it would be to change that into a 2 conveyor belt wall, but that would make the belts weird. And I don't like weird belts. I'm sure you can all understand. Weird belts are... they're weird. And unlike myself, who are also weird, I guess I have enough weirdness in me that we don't need the belts to be weird as well. So yeah, let's just do this the simple and easy way, which is basically just building it beside the pillars. That was 5, was it? I think it was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aha! Counting with Caledorn within the first 5 minutes of the video. And again, counting with Caledorn is kind of obligatory in Satisfactory. Build that over there. I'm not sure. I think that's too far away, actually. I'm gonna do this here just to be safe. You might be wondering where I am taking the coal from, but don't worry about that. It's magic. Alternatively, we'll go out there afterwards. And then, no, in the middle of this one. And that would be 4. Which is absolutely wrong. We want 5. I was confused there for a moment. Well, technically, I am usually confused, so not just for a moment, but this specific instance confused me. What? Can't afford? Oh, bother. Okay, well... that means I have to go back to the base. And I can't see anything. Sadly, with the experimental build, I can hear a spider. Yeah. With the experimental build, no mods are working, so I can't use the Always Day mod that I'm usually so happy for using when I'm playing Satisfactory. I mean, they have added lights, which is nice, but it doesn't help me very much when I'm out building in the wilderness. I can't very well build floodlights out there. Now, how many trains was that at once? Okay, well then. Do I have enough to build a train? No. Where is you? Can you come out to the aluminium outpost? Please? Unable to reach next stop. So no, you cannot come to the aluminium outpost. Petroleum coke. Yeah, those are supposed to be unable to reach next stop because those are the ones that were delivering petroleum coke to this station. Wait, it started up. Yay. So it's on its way. Although, I think I'll just hop on this one. Because that's going back to the base. I did figure out what was the issue with the belts. No, not belts, the trains, the rails. What I mentioned in the 0.5 episode with some rails being difficult to place. I did some experimentation and finally discovered a solution. I don't know if it's a bug or if it's a feature or if it's meant to be that way or whatever the cause is, but I suspect it's a bug. So, when you build intersections, apparently, I don't know if it's universal, because it doesn't seem to be universal, but apparently at my, that's very bright, at my main station area in the base, I cannot build the, what are they called? The track switchers? Those things. These. The red arrows there. Those will not work if I place them on a seam. That is on the line where two foundations meet. Why is that train going so slowly? So that won't work. I'm gonna turn off the autopilot when this thing goes into the station so that I have a train to get back to the outpost, since I sent the building train or the passenger train that I'm using. I sent that out there, which probably wasn't too bright of me. So autopilot off. Okay. So the result of that was these very funky train lines here, because I was allowed to build these switches one away from the seam. So I'm just gonna deal with that. It's not a big issue. Also, and this is fairly important actually, the game does not autosave currently, so you must remember to save regularly. If you don't do that and the game crashes, that's too bad. Where are the encased industrial beams? There they are. Ten of those. That should suffice. My inventory is a mess. But that's okay. Now, since we are on the first episode of the actual series, as you all know, I am the kind of person who likes to spend time thinking and planning what I'm doing. No, 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 no! Phew. I was going to look at my inventory, and I did not think. Okay. What I wanted to ask is, what would you guys prefer me doing? Would you prefer me setting up things off camera and then go through it manually? Or would you prefer me using the pause function of the game? Like, for instance, what I now just had to do. This is a segue where I would pause the game while I went into the main base to get or pause the recording, not the game. When I would go to get the beams, and then I would unpause the recording again when I was back at the location where I was building. Keep in mind that if I am to do the second option, which is showing things on camera, using the pause function whenever I do something either very repetitive or something boring, like going to fetch more beams. The series is probably going to be a lot of episodes. I might release twice per day in that case. But the other thing, which is part of the reason why I have been reticent about recording everything, is audience retention. There is something to be said about audience retention for a series. Not everyone enjoys very long Let's Play series. Like, this could easily turn into a series that would involve many, many, many episodes. Are you a boss? Yes, you are. Okay. It's okay. And it is difficult for me to gauge whether it is a good thing or a bad thing, this audience retention thing. I wish I could cater to everyone's desires, to be honest. Like, maybe... I mean, I have more than 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel now. Actually, let me check how many episodes or how many videos I actually have. 1,172 uploads total on my channel. Every time I ask the question, which I do, because the point of what I'm doing, obviously, is to entertain. So every time I ask the question, what would you guys like me to do? Would you like me to record everything? Would you like me to record parts of it using the pause function? Would you like me to do this, do that, and so forth? The reason why I have just been keeping to doing my own thing is because the answers I get are so wildly varying that it's basically left to my own devices what I want to do, because I cannot in any way cater to all the different opinions and desires and so forth of the answers I get. They are not coherent enough or unified enough to actually allow that for me. So I just have to do what I feel is the best way of doing it. And many of you have actually said that as well as an opinion, that do what you feel is best, Caledorn, and we're happy. But this is a new update, and there's a lot of things here that needs to be done, and well, it's not like the game has changed substantially in terms of mechanics, but there are changes that are significant enough that it might be relevant for me to actually do record everything. Although using pause, not using pause is simply not an option. And the reason for that is I spend way too much time waffling over certain things. Oh, that was interesting. Okay. Well, I guess this rock isn't entirely opaque. This is a very interesting rock. Speaking of which, this rock is annoying, and I don't know if it's possible to remove it. Is it? No. Okay. I will just have to build over it then. Big question though is that possible? Well, I am one above that, so it should be possible. Anyhow, back to the recording thing. So the point of... Well, there are many points to what I do. Why have I chosen to do YouTube? Now that is a question that's interesting. But I guess the main thing why I chose to do YouTube is because I find it fun. I like doing YouTube. Because here we run into a different problem, which is that this thing is a turn. Okay, let's do some deforestation here in a more explosive manner. Yeah, so this belt is a turn, and that turns there and then goes down there and then goes up. Okay, scratching my own head. Right. The reason why I'm going down and then up is because of if I couldn't just go one up, I would get a crooked belt. I remember now. But I want that belt to... Oh gods, this is going to be an interesting challenge. So this is one of those typical situations where I would be waffling, because I'm not sure how to do this. So it would be thinking, planning, much focus, much concentration. I obviously can't put a foundation here, and this is where I want that belt to come in. There is no way for me to put a foundation there. In other words, the most logical thing for me to do would be to put that at the end of the foundation, and yeah, I think we're going to do it like that. Why do I have a foundation there? And get back up here. I'm sure that my reactions today can be amusing to more than one person viewing. But the thing is that I'm going to get the bad turn. Okay. Q foundations. Do we have... Yes, we do. We can use the up corner for inverted. And if I want this to be centered on this, that would be there. So I would need this to be here. Perfect. Am I going... See, there are little things like that. This. Nobody wants a power line that's going through the belt. That is heresy. So I need to fix that as well. So how do we fix that? Well, I know. Put a power pole there. We take this cable and we remove this cable. And we take a power line from there up to there. Now, can I build a belt? Let me just see here. Because this might not fix the problem at all. Nope, it does not. Le Sai. Oh, there's another way to fix it. Which is doing that. And then connecting that to this. Then connecting that to that. Then connecting that to that. And you know what? I'm going to remove that power line as well. And then I'm going to connect that to that. And there we go. Power line that does not clip. Also, some of you may have noticed this already. I am easily distracted. Oh, that is just perfect. It is not tripping at all. So we have the belt where I want it, and now we need to figure out how to put it on there. Which means that we can probably go back to me discussing my recording habits. So, the thing about catering to people's desires is, of course, very relevant, since one of the primary reasons I decided to do YouTube was because of my mental health issues. Which is ironic, since I am an introvert. I am a very introverted person. I am not a person who is very fond of being in the public view. I am not a person who is very fond of making speeches, for instance. That gives me severe anxiety. But for some reason, YouTube, even streaming to a certain extent, works. And why did I do that? It's given me something to do to distract my own, let's just say, busy mind, because my mind can be very busy indeed. And YouTube has been a great way for me to channel energy, combining something that I love, which is playing games, with... Oh, that's right. That's not right at all. I'm going to use a lift here. So channeling energy from a busy mind into something that gives me purpose, kind of a job. And that has been very invaluable to me. But of course, when you do YouTube, or you do Twitch, if you do decide to become a content creator in any form, that does involve a certain level of commitment. That commitment primarily being that you have the goal of wanting to entertain people. To entertain people, you need to make sure that what you're doing is in line with the desires of your viewers. Up, of course, to a certain extent. There are limitations to what I can do within the limitations of my own health, of course. Which is one of the reasons for why streaming is difficult for me, is due to my mental health, because I have not made this a secret. Many people might consider it something that you don't talk about in public, but mental health has a certain stigma. Not so much here in Norway. And I have noticed that other parts of the world, both the European continent and also in the US, the stigma is getting better, but it's still there. And I believe that openness is a good thing when it comes to mental health issues. I believe that it is not healthy to keep things secret, because if you keep things secret, you end up with shame. And shame is very, very damaging. It is probably one of the most damaging emotions or feelings you can have. Which is why I have chosen to be open about my mental health issues and to try to do, well, I wouldn't say make them a strength, because you can't really make them, well, you can actually. Certain mental health issues you can make work for you as a strength rather than a detriment. Notice how I did not use the word weakness there, because I do not believe that mental health issues correlates with weakness. But my point here was that one of the side effects of anxiety is very often irritable bowel syndrome. And that is why I do not stream very often. It is not a major thing in my life, but when it happens, it happens, and I shall spare you any details. I don't think you need those. But the point is, I don't think it would be very enjoyable for my audience to have to wait for an unspecified amount of time, nor would it be very pleasant for me to be stressed about the fact that I would be knowing that people are waiting for me. So that is why I am so hesitant about the streaming thing. But that said, I do want to do streaming. I want to do some relaxing streams, and I'm going to just ignore this aspect, but it has been a process for me to get to that point where I decide whether or not I want to do streaming at all. But I will not be streaming on Twitch. I will be streaming on YouTube. That is a personal preference. Twitch is very nice and it has many advantages, but I'm not that fond of their terms of service. And I also don't want to mess with the partner program, affiliate, all that stuff. Having to stream 4 times a week, that's just not, no. It's really just no. I will happily stream, but I will not commit to having to stream so and so many times per week, so and so many hours. That's just too much for me. I need to also factor in my own health and my own needs in that. So YouTube will be my preferred streaming platform. When I will start streaming, I was actually considering streaming today. But I decided that I would rather record this because I'm at a point where, well, as you've seen from the title, I'm at a point where what I'm doing is very, very relevant for the video and for the series. So, I'm not too happy about this, but it'll have to do. So that's why it's in here. And since it's in episode 1, I'm guessing many people will see this and hear my little. This is not what I would call a rant, but my little explanation of how my life functions. And actually, I'm quite happy about that. The more people that sees and hears what I just said, the better. Okay, so it's on the correct height. Because this is important. Okay, this is empty. Good. Not just for me, but I think it is important for many people. So, yeah. See. The gist of it is, I would like to make content that is relevant, that is entertaining, and that is fun, but at the same time, while also factoring in my own need for not doing things that is detrimental to me. And in addition, also trying to do the best I can at entertaining and also providing help and assistance, guides, tutorials. Okay. Which button did I just press? Interesting. They've added it to that. Oh my. That's going to severely help my life. Wow. I know they had added that, but I didn't know they added it to that. That's nice. Well done, Coffee Stain. So, as my point initially was, if you have any feedback on what and how you would like me to do this series, then please do let me know, as it is very useful to me. Yeah, there. Because, of course, my point is I want to do this in a manner that is best for both myself and for you. Okay, so that is going to be very crooked because I got it at the wrong height. Which is not ideal. Let's try that again. It is going to be crooked anyways, because even though I get it at the correct height, it's on the wrong position compared to this one. I can't fix that though. I think I will. I think I got it at the wrong height now too, but no, I didn't. Excellent. Okay. So I dearly hope... thank you. That splitter thing that was there, that was because I was dumping the petroleum coke into this one, because I needed to empty that out of the station. Okay, it's time to go back out to the coal. Now, fixing the aluminium isn't sufficient because of the new aluminium casing. I'm not sure if I need to build another aluminium refinery or if this refinery is going to be enough by splitting it, because the Alclad aluminium sheets are mostly used for technologies. And where did I put the car? Sorry about that. They're mostly used for technologies and belts, of course. Whereas the aluminium casings are an actual part. I think the Alclad aluminium plating is used in as a part in one thing, but primarily the casings is what we now need. Where on earth did I put the car? Don't tell me it's fallen through the world again. No, it's just me who's blind. Okay, so I'm going to have to look at that. I've already checked the Satisfactory calculator site, and that one has been updated with all the new recipes, including the alternate recipes and everything, so well done there. But setting up more aluminium is not going to be very enjoyable if I need that, because bauxite isn't exactly a resource you can find everywhere, to put it mildly. There is another node in the direction we are now going, which I could, or there are several nodes in this direction, which I could use. I would have to belt the bauxite. Had this been before the experimental update, I would probably have used a train line for this coal, but that just takes too long. I'm using belts because it is more convenient. Maybe I'll switch it to the drones when we unlock those. And that's, speaking of, one of the parts or things that I vaguely remember you need the Alclad aluminium plates for, but then again, how many drones do you need? That's an open question for me as of yet, because I don't know. So, yeah. So I found 2 coal nodes out here, together with the Mercer-sphere, and they are both normal, I think. Pretty sure. Yep. They are both normal. Bother. Okay, we'll just leave it like that. So I've overclocked them to 200% because we are going to need 480 parts per minute. So 2 normal overclocked is 480, which is also why I'm using a Mark 4 belt. Back to the car. So let's head on back down to where I didn't connect up the belt because I didn't want to have to mess with getting a lot of coal into my inventory. Did the first part here connected, and then at the bauxite mining outpost I continued unconnected because I knew that I was going to have to deal with what I just did belt-wise, which is building the coal belt into the base. Or rather the outpost, I guess. As per usual, I am a brilliant driver, so this is where I disconnected it. Or rather, this is where I built without connecting it. Let's just connect that up. And then we can go back down here. I'm not terribly concerned about driving over snack trees and stuff like that. As you can see, I had to build an elevator beside the other one here. So I did that. Those are new, I think. I can't remember having seen those. Dragonflies, I think. I haven't bothered with the slugs here either, but I might actually have to, because I can't build the Mark III miners, even though I have them unlocked because I had them unlocked before the patch. They require parts, the new tactical bore cubes that I am not making currently. So that's not exactly ideal, but there's not much I can do about that, so that's why I had Mark II miners there. Okay, now we get to the other annoying part. These belts here are full of petroleum coke, which means I'm going to have to tear them down. And rebuild them as I go. I don't have to rebuild them as I go, but it sure helps if I do. So each of these refineries, and I think this is legacy, because I believe that the aluminium scrap is no longer produced in a refinery. I believe it is now produced in a blender. I don't think I can build a blender. That is, I don't think I have the parts necessary to build a blender. And even if I have, I'm not going to use blenders here. No. Okay, so no, they are made in a refinery because this one requires aluminium casings. And aluminium casings, for very obvious reasons, need aluminium. So that's fine. Okay, let's go back down there. What I was going to check was, yeah, well, both of them require 120 coal per minute. So we are going to split this into Mark II belts. Oh boy, this is going to be annoying. That won't work. This is not ideal at all. I can't empty the lifts. Please tell me you... Oh, thank you. And then that, and then that. Good. Remove these. Connect that up. Now that's going... And that one. And finally this one. I don't really need to use a Mark IV in there, but it's not like I can't afford it, so what the heck. Then that one goes down there, and this one goes up there, and then we connect up that. And finally, this one we connect here, and then there, and like that. And I think I got rid of all of the petroleum coke now. The big question now is, will these refineries start make aluminium? Well, the coal is coming, slowly but steadily. I was a bit worried about that. I think the refinery is kind of bugged because it had petroleum coke in it. Alternatively, this is not coal, but petroleum coke. And that is exactly what it is. Yes, of course. The buffers. All of the splitters and mergers have internal buffers. There we go. So I'm going to have to redo all of these lifts because the buffers have to be emptied, which I believe they have been now. At least I hope so. That one is now working, so that means that something is happening at least. How about you? Yep, it started working. Coal is coming in. Then this one. And finally this one. That should do the trick. Things should be moving again here now. You're not moving. Because there's still crap on this line. Can I? Yes, I can. So that is what we'll do. How about you? Still crap on you as well. Hopefully that's the last of it. Since there was both coal and coke on that that sound. Yes. So those are now up again, and that means that these should soon start. Yeah, they are already starting to work. Now the question is, how many? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 8 of these assemblers making alclad aluminium sheets. I could replace the recipe in some of these. Or rather, I wouldn't be replacing the recipe in these. I would be making constructors instead, because the aluminium casing is made in regular constructor. I don't know exactly how much casing we need. It takes 90 ingots to 60 casing per minute, whereas this one is 30 to 30. That is not ideal. I'm going to have to look at the hard drives and the alternate recipes. That, however, I will do off camera because the alternative recipes currently are I think there's at least 17 of them, and there is no reason for me to do that on camera, and I need to have a look at all of those various alternative recipes. I don't know if the guide has been updated for that either. I'm going to check that, but I strictly do not need the guide to realize whether a recipe is good or not, but the guide is helpful because the guide usually also lays out usage patterns for where a recipe might be beneficial as opposed to when it might not be beneficial, and outright says that this recipe is not beneficial whatsoever. So, but we have managed to achieve what I set as the goal for this episode, which was to restart the aluminium production. Now, the next part will of course be to look at the aluminium casings and whether or not I need to set up more bauxite and another aluminium refining plant, or if I can split out some of that using the alternate recipes, because we don't need 8 assemblers making the Alclad aluminium sheets. That I do know. We're not going to need that many of the Alclad sheets. But for now, if you do have any questions or comments, as per usual, do feel free to leave those in the comments section. I got it right this time. And of course, if you want to discuss the series more in depth, you just want to be social, or maybe you want to play the game together with someone, please do come to our Discord server. The link is in the description. Yeah, I got that right too. And we have a dedicated channel for Satisfactory, so you are very welcome to come join us there. But for now, thank you everyone so much for joining me, and I hope that my episode has been informative, both in terms of some mental health and my own situation things, but of course also in regards to the new aluminium processing. See you all next time.